Hey, and welcome back. So we've already covered two really fundamental sections, right? We've covered vision and mission, and everything we do from here on out is going to be anchored back to those two key fundamental aspects of our vision and mission, right? So if we want to create alignment in what we're working on, that's really our North Star or our anchor, right? So as we cascade down from vision to mission, now into goals, there's two things I want you to remember about goals, right? How you should think about goals and how you should set goals. So first, how you should think about goals is outcomes versus outputs. So you'll see some companies set goals that say, we want to release this product by end of year. Okay, that's not really a goal, that's an output, right? Um, in some agile methodologies, if you've studied agile or you're familiar, a lot of the emphasis in agile is output. But where the value comes in for product management is in outcomes. All right, cool. So you release this product by end of year. What did that mean? It means absolutely nothing if no one buys it or uses it. So you think about success and successful goals in terms of outcomes, right? So if we're measuring by that standard, okay, and we're going back to the chart here, we're going to convert 10% of free Figma users to pro users by the end of the year. All right, so this is an outcome. This is not saying we are going to do X or we are going to ship Y feature to the market. The goal is the outcome. Okay, a conversion of 10%. Okay, that's the outcome that we're looking for. And as you shape your own goals, that's what you need to think of as well, is what is the outcome that we want that'll also help tie in to our vision and mission. So naturally brings us to a question of how does this goal of converting 10% of current free users to pro users by the end of the year align with our mission and vision? Well, the vision is to be the go-to place for everyone to create and communicate. So it could be something that's driven around communication that the free version doesn't have. It could be some advanced feature. We'll find out, right? Through the user research that we're going to go on, we're going to find out what are potential opportunity areas, right? There's the problem space and the solution space, but in those problems, there's always opportunities, right? Without problems, there's nothing to solve, and if there's nothing to solve, there's no opportunity. So those things all kind of tie in together. When we uncover problems, we're really uncovering opportunities, right? So then our mission is to help the entire product team create, test, and ship better designs faster. Okay, so whatever it is that we decide to do to help get to that goal of converting 10% of current free users, it's got to be something that helps the product team create, test, and ship better designs faster, so we can be the go-to place, or Figma can be the go-to place for everyone to create and communicate through design. And so if you see how those things work together from top down to bottom up, there has to be alignment from the executive vision and mission down to even individual product team goals, right? So that's what we're going to be focused on. So that's the focus of outcomes versus outputs. So if we go back up here, the second part is we want SMART goals, right? Obviously, having something SMART sounds good, but what does that mean? Well, I've kind of spelled it out for you already. Specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. Obviously, we just talked about how you should think about goals, but this is how you set goals. It's a framework of sorts, right? So you want your goals to be SMART, specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. So let's break down each of these in light of the goal that I just showed a second ago. So let's go with specific. Okay. So convert 10% of current free users to pro users by the end of the year. Okay, so let's break down the specificity in this. 10%, it's a very specific number, right? Current free users. So we could take the free users that we have, if we were going to say at this date, starting today's date, that's our cohort. All free users are who we're judging against. Whoever we get as a free user between now and a year from now, they don't count. We want 10% of the current free user count today. Okay. You may not get that specific, but that's a level of specificity that you could say. And it's free to pro users. Okay. You could include the third tier, that corporate tier, or that company tier. It may be called organization. I forget that third level, what they name it. But you could rule that out, or you could say that conversion up to that counts as well. So it's really up to you to say like what's in scope or out of scope for a success metric, right? So that's specific. I think this is pretty specific here. Okay, so the next part of this is measurable. All right, so we said 10%. 10% is measurable. And if we cohort this into the current free users of today, or the current free users, and the day that we mark that against is the day before launch, then we can do that. And then it's very measurable. So 10% of a specific cohort, right? Is it attainable? Well, that's a great question. We don't know, right? To figure out if this is even attainable, there's some questions we'll have to answer. And so we're going to get into that later, about what questions you should be asking as you go through the market research and as you go through the user research, and you're defining what are some of the problems out there or some of the opportunity areas that you could take on. We'll see if that 10% number is attainable, and if we find an opportunity that could lead to that 10% conversion from free to paid. Okay. Is it relevant? Yeah, I think we showed through how it aligns with the mission and vision that it is relevant, right? And then time bound, yeah, we said by the end of the year. So we said we want 10% conversion from this cohort of users by the end of the year. So if we try to check all those boxes, that's what makes this such a great framework, is if we can check these boxes of specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time bound, then we know we have a really solid goal. If there's something missing, we know we need to tweak something. So it's a really great check and balance of not only how are you thinking about goals in terms of outcomes versus outputs, but also how are you defining what that goal is or what that outcome is, right? So that's SMART goals and outcomes over outputs. As you work through this, remember to think in terms of outcomes, to think SMART goals. And so after this video, I encourage you to go and set a goal for yourself. Make sure you're thinking in those terms, and make sure you are aligning how you define your goal in terms of the SMART framework.